Hello photography fans, and welcome to another episode about classic cameras and classic photo gear. It's been a while since I posted a video. It's been months, about 7 months probably. I didn't die, I'm still here, I'm still doing photo stuff. I just did not have proper motivation to make a video. About last week, I found on Mother eBay 5 rolls of undeveloped film. I ordered that. I put like $35 for the whole lot, and there was actually 5 rolls, and they all said to have been exposed. However, only 4 were exposed, and one of them, which is a autographic film from late 1920s, that film was never shot, so that doesn't count as exposed. Okay, so what I got here is a whole bunch of Kodak film. As I mentioned, 5 rolls were actually exposed in terms of shot, apparently. And this one here is an autographic 1/16 film, and that one doesn't seem to have been shot. That one just it seems to be fresh. What I actually did is unroll the paper just to a certain degree, and what I found there is the starting of the film. So this is not the back end of it, it's the beginning of it. That means the film has not been shot, but it's pretty cool. The last patent date on it is 1929, so I can only imagine this film is from late 1920s or probably early 1930s. I believe they discontinued that in the 30s, so it had to be from around that time. Now these beauties here, this one is a panachromatic film, and the only description on it is just that. It's a Kodak panachromatic. This one here is a Kodak Verichrome pan, and this one I remember developing something like that in the past, and that was from 1960s or thereabout. This one here, again, not much info on it. Can only imagine it's a Kodak Verichrome. And this one here is a Verichrome film. Now, what I'll try doing is, well, I forgot about the tallest of them all. This is a 124 Verichrome film. I can't imagine what year that one is from. There's no date of used by, but what I'll try to do is develop one of them in Kodak HC110. From what I read, the Dilution B should work just fine for that. So we'll start with one of those and see how that, what sort of images, if any, it will give me. But it'll be a cool project to venture into. And if you guys are watching this video, that means that worked out. If you're not watching, then it means that there's no video because there's nothing to show you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe this video needs some sort of closure. Since you're watching, it means that the developing worked, but did it work for all the rolls? What happened with the images? Are there any images? What's going on? So as it turns out, the HC110 developer, HC110 developer did not come in because FedEx SmartPost takes apparently 2 weeks from California to where I live. Mind-boggling. I just couldn't wait any longer, so I decided to take the matters in my own inexperienced hand. So I had D76 instead sitting in my cabinet here, and I decided, you know what, let's use D76. It's a Kodak developer, it's gotta work. Actually, any developer would have worked, but the reason for HC110 was apparently controls fog better than anything else. But D76 is what's available, so let's use D76. It was past Saturday, so about a week from now, from today, from tomorrow. I decided to load 120 film first. Easy to do, easy enough. Mixed up some developer, loaded the film, ran it 10 minutes. I figured it would be the right time for this. So I ran for 10 minutes, fixed it, started washing it, finished washing it, pulled it out. No images. Bummer. Roll was completely empty. Clear as a glass tabletop. I figured, okay, first roll, slim chances there would have been anything on it. So I decided to load another 120 film. And I loaded that, and I went into developer. And I ran it through D76 for 10 minutes, pulled it out, no images, but sliver of hope. There were images on it, because you can see the frame, the space between the frames is clear, and then there's some sort of image, but nothing visible. And I figured there was something shot on it. It just didn't survive, or it wasn't properly exposed. So decided to leave the project for that night and continue on the next morning. So the next day, I thought I would run the 116 first. I took the 116 and I Jimmy rigged my Patterson 120 spool to accept the 116 film. And I started spooling it on, but it just would not catch. The bearings would not catch. The film would catch it sometimes halfway. It would stop. It would fall apart. So what I did is I coiled it back up and I wrapped it in tin foil. I left it for now. I figured let's do something different than aggravate yourself with film that will not spool on improper spool. There's 124 film. Well, that film, I don't have spool for it, and you cannot Jimmy rig the 120 spool for it, period. So I decided that I'll do the seesaw method, which is like you grab each end and you kind of dip it in developer continuously for X amount of time. Turned out that film was an orthochromatic film, meaning that it's not sensitive to red light. That means you can develop it under red light and see the result immediately. So let's do that. Pour the D76 in a tub, and I did the seesaw thing. There were images, but they were all fogged up, and there was nothing you could see. There was no distinctive features. So I scrapped that. There's two more left. One is a 120 and one is a 116. I figured that I'm going to do one more. And if that doesn't work, then I'll give up for a while and I'll let it sit and marinate. Maybe by some extraterrestrial force, some images will appear on it. So I loaded the 120 and I ran it 10 minutes, D76, 20 degrees Celsius. And I fixed it for 5 minutes in Rapid Fix 1+4. And I started washing it. As I'm washing it, I figured, I'm going to take a little peek at see if there's anything on it. Because you cannot really tell. Everything's coiled up. It's all dark regardless. So I pull out a little film and I check, and there's an image. There's something there. The excitement was so huge that the dog must have sensed it, and she started barking and going all crazy. To this day, I think it was because she sensed my excitement and not because she saw a squirrel on a back porch. So I ended up washing the film, and I let it hang to dry. It was so, those old films are very curly. So I hung up a few weights on it and let it hang. And there were images. There were some cool images. And I couldn't wait to actually inspect it. So I have my phone in the bag and the magnifying loupe, and I'm checking things out. And there's some bizarre images. So I let it dry, and I figure I'll clean up and I'll pick up the 1/16 film next morning. And I do that. I come into the darkroom and I just marvel at that 120 that I've developed last night before. And these images were from probably 60s. But we'll get to that. So now I do the 1/16. I jimmy rig the spool again, and I go in a dark tent and I start spooling it on. And as I'm spooling it on, it magically spools on. I guess it's the approach you have towards the project that helps things move smoother. So once it's all spooled up, I gently move it to a tank and I develop it ever so gently. I don't even do inversions, I do the crank thing. And 10 minutes later, I fix it. And 5 minutes after that, I start washing it. But I pulled up a little bit of film and there are no images, it's empty. So I pulled up a little bit more. Still nothing. About halfway in, there were 4 images. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoy this trip back in time with these amazing images. They were taken with probably a Brownie camera or who knows what other piece of photographic equipment, but they were mostly snapshots. But they were so cool. It's so cool to find these tiny time capsules and develop the film and see what's in it, what was locked in for all these decades. So I hope you stay tuned for more videos, and hopefully not in 7 months, but earlier. And I hope you enjoy this and keep shooting film and keep the film alive.